So my name is Reitweissner. I do various things. Mostly I work on Soliditiy, so the high-level language for Ethereum. But I also work on ZK-snarks, the CPP Ethereum client, and the little scaling solutions in my free time like Truebit or Plasma. That was way back in, was it 2015, the summer of 2015? Shortly after the pre-sale. It's a quite interesting story because we probably all know this meetup software now, and I was just looking for interesting meetups in the area, and it based on my profile, it suggested Ethereum to me, the local Ethereum meetup in Berlin. And I read the description and I was immediately hooked, basically. Went there and asked for a job. So there are two big chunks of work currently. Apart from adding tiny new features, fixing bugs, and also removing some tiny features that turn out to be unsafe. The two big things are we're introducing a new intermediate language called Yulia that will make the compiler more flexible because it will be able to target multiple backends. So the current EVM we have, the EVM 1.5, the WebAssembly backend. It will also allow better optimization steps because currently all optimization is done on the bytecode, on opcodes directly, which requires a quite complicated analysis phase to find out what can actually be done. And if we do it on the intermediate language, then loops are obvious because they are still there, for example, variables and so on. Mainly finding people to help with Solidity. So we have lots of open issues, many plans, but it really takes much longer than you think to complete stuff you designed. The second thing is adding a formal verification module directly into the compiler, which basically it just runs in the background and users don't really have to, so programmers don't need to know much about it. They just get additional error messages from the compiler and they can react upon that. And the great thing is it can do a much more detailed analysis than a regular static analysis part of a compiler would be able to do. So, I don't know, usually in static analysis in compilers you get warnings like unused variable or things like a condition is always true because of, you compare a positive number and check that it's not negative, which doesn't make sense, and it warns you about that. But with this formal verification tool in Solidity, it can, I hope it can handle more or less arbitrarily complex situations, but we'll have to see how well that scales. With Byzantium, we added these precompiles that kind of enable the use of ZK-snarks in Ethereum. And people keep on asking, hey, how can I use it? And what do you have to do? I have this project here, is that possible? And Jakob is creating a toolkit that includes a programming language, and you can write software in that programming language and it will compile it into a circuit that can be used with ZK-snarks. It's again another programming language, but that's required because ZK-snarks have very specific requirements, and at the current phase of research, they are even more constrained than blockchains are. But in principle, they're very powerful, so we'll have to see how that evolves. Most of all, I'm really excited about all the people being here. So in this space, when people get excited about blockchain and start a project and kind of get into the space, then they are just stuck. So they don't leave, so because it's so exciting and such a nice place. And each DEF CON you meet more and more people, and it's just such an amazing community. And we don't do kind of marketing or go into the street and ask, hey, do you want to help with Solidity? But it's just, you have to be open, welcoming to contributors, and we're trying to do that. I hope we succeed there. I hope we'll get some specific progress on Casper, so specific implementations. Vitalik mentioned his roadmap about this two-level blockchain structure where we have a main chain which is relatively stable and doesn't change too much, and then a kind of child chain where we put all the new features in and basically keep it experimental. It's kind of a test net, but it's tied to the mainnet, which is really exciting. And at the point where it stabilizes, we say, okay, that's the sharding blockchain we want to use. Yeah, I mean, getting the incentive structure right, I'm not sure if the asynchronous communication between the nodes will be an issue. Perhaps also, I mean, this switch from a testnet to a stable net might be challenging because a network only proves itself stable or safe when many people use it. We saw that during last year's DEF CON, where Ethereum probably got a big publicity boost around that time, and people tried to break it and almost succeeded. I hope that this will happen with this testnet chain too, because that's the only way to make it to see whether it works, basically.